Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Gameroom Discourse podcast. My name is Mike,
I'm James.
And I'm Joey.
and boy, oh boy, oh boy, are we excited to talk about Sonic Frontiers. Now,
Yeah.
just real quick, spoiler, alert. There are spoilers in this video. We are talking about the game. We are reviewing it. So you've been warned. So overall, real quick, just before we get into it, just so that people might know what to expect from each of us, let's give our overall rating of the game. Mine is a 7.5 with it's very close to an 8 out of 10, but 7.5 out of 10. Not due to gameplay or story or things like that. A little bit of gameplay. More so due to combat and polish. But that's my rating.
I would probably give it an 8.5, honestly.
Oh, wait, I should say, I'm playing on the Switch version. James, you're playing...
On the Xbox.
Joey, you're...
I'm playing on PC.
All right. Oh,
And
so we got 3 different reviews. All right, cool.
Yeah, and I know someone who's playing on the PS5.
I know the PS5 version is great.
I mean, the PC version is awesome. It just,
Yes.
like with all other versions, it has problems with, like, when you get close to enough to an item, it deals with pop-in issues. Where
I haven't experienced it. I just haven't seen it. I don't know.
I've experienced way too many pop-in issues where I play on like 1440p and I'm not close enough to an object to see it. I'm not close enough. Oh, hey, look, after I'm like 50 feet away, I finally see it.
I just haven't experienced it.
Oh,
maybe. I mean, they usually. Oh, wait, what's your rating?
My rating is a 7.5, maybe a little bit closer to 8.
So same to mine. Okay.
Yeah.
For that, I haven't experienced that issue either on my end.
You didn't experience it either?
No,
I haven't. I know people have said they have, but maybe that's a PC issue thing, because I know when it comes to games like these across these platforms that usually only the Xbox and PlayStation versions are usually kind of the same, because Switch is a whole different engine and system than PC in its own right. So
it varies. It varies depending on.
But as far as the Switch version goes, I'm sure it runs better on Xbox, but if you don't really care about a few different frames per second not being there, which I don't, some people do, some people really do, and it's a game breaker, and that's fine for you. I don't care, really. It looked fine, it played fine for me, I enjoyed it. High parts, I want to start with good things first, because there are some bad. But the best thing about this game is that everything that was bad is not a core issue or a core problem. It is a very, very fixable issue. And if you fix it and they go in this direction, it can be amazing.
Basically, stuff you could fix through patches, honestly.
If they do patches, this game could be a 10 out of 10.
Oh, honestly.
Yeah. That's how, but that's also, because I gave it a 7.5. That's also how annoying some of these slight issues, but they add up, are. But it's like, if this game had another year, which I hate saying because I don't want to wait another year for it. If this game had another year, and they polished it, and they just did polish and quality of life, it would be great. Like stupid things, like you get your seeds, your speed your attack and defense seeds, and you go to your the cocoa. I forget it. There's the Elder Cocoa, and what's the other guy's name? Hermit Cocoa? Yeah, Hermit Cocoa. You go to the Hermit Cocoa, and he instantly, he instantly maxes them all out as much as he can. And you only have to talk to him once. You go to the Elder Cocoa with the Cocos to try to raise your speed and rings, and whatever it is, and you have to each time do
press for every
single one. Now, I get why they did it. They did it because you can choose, and you don't want to just pick all of the ones. You might want more rings and whatnot. But you should be able to count the number, like
invest all of
yeah,
these
like count it up,
essentially.
like say like how many you want to use for this or this, and then just
It should
maximum out.
it should even give you how many upgrades you can do.
Yeah, that would be nice too. It's stuff like that, but it takes so much time, and it leaves an impression, and it's not a good impression. I know I said I want to start off good, but I think we'll finish good. I think start off with the controversies because they're not as bad.
It's got a lot more good than I'd say bad,
Yeah,
which is
so
a lot.
we'll get to
yeah.
Now I want to say yeah, exactly. This is the best Sonic game in many, many, many years, and that's not even that's not a debate. It's not even close. But I want to say I have beaten the game completely. I've 100%ed it as much as it's worth, because I used the Psyloop glitch, or not glitch. I love that thing. I love the Psyloop, just infinite thing. I know it's a little cheesy, but I just love it. It's satisfying. I enjoy it.
You just keep on doing it in a loop.
It's so fun.
Yeah,
it's so fun. It's so simple, but it's very satisfying to me. I did it for like 20 minutes. It was great.
It's a very simple but quite effective spell.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to say that I beat it. James is on the 4th island.
No, I'm on the 5th island now.
You're on the 5th island. Joey is on the 4th island then, or hasn't started the 4th island.
I haven't started the 4th island yet.
4th island is not that long, but it is extremely important and story driven, and it's amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
But it might take you an hour, not even.
No, I finished it really fast. I was like,
yeah,
okay,
it's pretty quick.
But even if I skip all the cutscenes?
If you skip the cutscenes, which you shouldn't, you really shouldn't.
Really?
I'll give it this game its due. Its cutscenes are actually freaking good.
Yeah, it's a good story. This is the best story I think I've seen in Sonic. It's a bit cheesy at times, but fucking it's Sonic. Who gives a shit?
It's incredibly cheesy at times.
It's great though. It's so good though.
All these characters.
Yeah. So my biggest criticism with this game right now, I'm gonna split it up into islands and cyberspace talk. I'm talking about the islands right now, guys. So my biggest issue right now with the islands, the only issue that I really had, aside from the Coco issue, is the World 3 boss fight is atrocious. That boss fight alone brings the game down a whole point for me. That boss fight made me like angry, like because I wasn't doing anything wrong and they weren't giving me the ability to do it right. Like you don't move fast enough to keep up with that thing. Your camera doesn't move fast enough to keep up with the spinning disc shield, and you can't. And when you finally do parry it, which is not hard to parry, which is another problem, is that it's not hard, it's just annoying. And when you do finally parry it, you only get like a couple seconds to turn the camera, and most of the time your camera can only turn like a 45-degree angle, which is not enough to catch this thing who is spinning ridiculously fast.
Like when you parry where you think it's gonna be, you can sometimes still miss.
I shit you not, I had 300 rings at that when that part started, and 30 minutes later I finally died. 30 minutes of doing that own thing, I was irate. That was like, I was angry. I wasn't like that at that point in time, the game for me was a 9.5 out of 10, maybe a 9.2. That brought it down to an 8.5, and it wasn't even a question. That was atrocious. I was sitting in my room playing it, screaming, "This is dog shit." Like, that was awful. And I don't know what they can do to change it. The boss looked cool, the music was good, but it was not played well.
To be fair, it was only that second half of the boss fight.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but that's the thing. A lot of the problems that I have with this game are not entire things. It's like I also have a lot of issues with the cyber levels. I have an issue with almost every single cyber level, but majority of the cyber, majority of every single cyber, the majority of every single cyber level, I've really enjoyed. Majority of it, but each and every single one of them had a couple seriously stupid issues that just I couldn't overlook. The
What
speed
issue?
wouldn't be comparable. The boost problems where like you weren't just going fast, but then the boost would still be taken up for me. Like if you're going over a loop to loop, you have to use the boost sometimes, and you wouldn't be going faster, so you're just wasting your boost. And then especially for the S rank times, some of those are ridiculous.
I'd say
Um,
like for 1-2, yeah, that one was a big one. That's like everyone probably does know. 1-2's S rank time was really difficult
atrocious.
to get.
Honestly, I found that really fun. It was a
Nah,
tight
you're
one, but
sadistic.
I liked it.
Nah,
Especially
you're
since I
sadistic.
did it on, especially since I've been playing the game on hard and high
Yeah, so
speed
did I.
mode. So it's just like, yeah, I
Oh,
feel like
I think there's only one way to play this game, and it's hard, high speed mode. I think action mode is for pussies, and you shouldn't do it because
I
it's
played
just
it
not
on
fun.
normal high speed mode because
Well, I did that. I did that at first, and then I beat the game on the last boss because by the way, there's a secret boss fight, and you only
well,
get it if you play on hard. But you can once you beat the game, or like you can change the difficulty at any given time. So I played it on normal, beat it on normal, and then found out there was a secret boss fight. Went back, changed it to hard, and beat the boss again, and it was cool.
like, I've
So
I've been playing the entire game on hard, so I'm fine with that.
yeah,
I'll
so
I literally
there is a
just
secret
changed the
boss
game
fight.
to hard.
Yeah, but it's
hard. I feel like an
the
idiot
game
now.
had there was another issue that I had was especially in the cyber levels was the placements of certain things, I guess is the best way to put it. Like
What
certain
red
things would
coin?
just kind of not rendering in, just wouldn't be fair when you're
I
trying to do certain things. Like some of them, it was almost impossible to do on your first try because it was like you had to trial and error it because you couldn't figure out what this was. And there was a couple levels where it was like there's so many different directions to go that it's annoying to go through them because you're
I
only trying to get one extra key.
I personally have not experienced that myself with render issues.
No, I
No,
Uh,
haven't experienced any render issues. I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, I would take a path and I'd be in 2D, and something would obviously not be on the screen at time, and I would be in a high speed mode, and I would land, and it would just be too soon for me to do anything, and I would get hit because it just came on screen because it's a 2D part. So certain things are just not on the screen, and it's annoying, and it
I
just didn't need to be there.
I personally don't know what you're talking about.
You haven't beat the game yet. I'm talking. Most of this issue was in a couple of the stages in level in World 5, um,
Okay, in World 5, I've done a couple of
and
World.
one in World 2, but I just don't remember the names. Um,
I don't know which one
but
you're World 2. I think I did 3 so far in World 5, so I probably
well,
just
there's
didn't do
9.
better. Yeah, I know, there's 9. I've
So
gotten the entire map out, is what I'm saying.
that's what I
So
did. Yeah, I love the maps. I love the mapping style of the game because you can do it from the beginning. You don't have to wait. Like I
it,
like the free progression.
a
there is
couple
one moment where you can't do it from the beginning in map
there's a
3.
couple where
When you're
storyline where
learning. But
it's like, hey, to get access to this part of it, you need to do a story thing first.
yeah,
Some
but
of,
that's
like
not an
one or
issue.
twice.
That's a normal thing. That's not a big deal. Like the bridge part where you had to get the bridge down in World 3. Like I
Yeah.
get that.
Yeah, that was
But
really
like
stupid.
well what was stupid to me was I managed to get up the bridge with some like quick jumps and quick just running and it was just an invisible wall. And then I
Yeah,
come
I
to
feel
find that the scene that you do it is you just do exactly what I did. So I was like, all right,
no,
fine then.
cinematic.
Yeah, that was
I was like, all
really
Cinematic.
right.
stupid.
Yeah. So but I get it from a storytelling bit that you shouldn't be over there yet. I get it. I get it. I don't like it. I get it though. So
To
I
be
give
fair
it that.
though, they only lock off like very
Yeah,
small
it's
portions.
not. Yeah, it's not. It was not a significant issue.
Like normally when they do lock off an area, it's a very small like separate island area.
Also, quick strategy for you guys: don't ever upgrade your rings. I never did, and it made the game so much easier.
Oh no,
I'd have an.
I immediately was just like, this is stupid. I need the high
You
speed.
get yeah, you get 6 rings every time you level it up, and honestly, especially if you want the boost mode to go faster during the islands, which I always wanted to be able to go faster. It's easier to get up to 400 rings than 999.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was just like, I'm just gonna keep this and go up higher speeds, and I never really had an issue.
If you
A
want to
little
cheat,
oversight,
you
but
could just
I
go
don't care.
to Hermit, and he can switch it for you afterwards anyway.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about like, oh, but I want to get. But no, you can just switch it, get the achievement, and switch the other one. Let's say
Yeah,
go
exactly.
up the same one.
Really enjoyed it. Really have enjoyed the game overall. I think that if Sega and Sonic Team go in this direction, and I hope they do, if they keep going in this direction, they have a perfect framework of a perfect Sonic game, which hasn't been thought of
For
to
a bit.
exist. Because there isn't one. There's no perfect Sonic game.
Yeah.
Just there's some ones that are pretty close, but they have a framework here that I don't think they've ever had before, where like the potential. Because Sonic worked really well. The satisfaction of running so fast across the world
in an open world is so good. Like it fits Sonic probably better than many other open world.
Personally, although I enjoyed a majority of every cyberspace level, I think they should scrap them. Maybe that might be a little harsh. I just think that they've shown over the past 10 years that 2D Sonic in these 3D style games doesn't work well, and they are not consistent enough to make it work well overall. But they have shown many times that they're very good at making the 3D parts pretty well. I think they should just focus on that. And if you want 2D Sonic, well, you've got plenty of those games, but it's time to move on in the new world. So,
I feel like
we want Sonic.
Are pretty good actually.
You could make them optional then. They don't. They shouldn't. They should not be like.
I would say they're not the best design for sure.
No,
but I feel
they
like
should not be. They should not be mandatory in a game like this. To do that.
I don't know about that.
I disagree.
I also disagree with your disagreement.
That's fine. But I just keep reading it, and I keep seeing that most people are like, I love the islands, but cyberspace has some issues. And I'm just like, yeah, I know. And it's frustrating because every game that they've done these 2D, 3D levels in a 3D game, like Forces, Generations, Colors, all of these, they have gotten so close every time to being great 2D and 3D games. And they just always fall short in the 2D aspect. And that leaves the 3D aspect with, things that you have to, you can't do because you need to finish 2D. And I think that it's just a problem that should just be eliminated and gone back to later on. When they fucking figure it out. But I ultimately am satisfied. I think it's definitely worth the money. I definitely think you should buy it. It's 22 hours. I finished it in like 18. But it's roughly 20 to 22 hours of gameplay, which is very long for a Sonic game. And yeah, it's pretty good. The story. Oh, the best thing to walk away from might be a lot of my issue with Sonic characters is how they're written.
Oh yeah, they're blocked. They're easily.
A lot of them are just written like shit. Knuckles and Sonic are consistently written fairly well. Like, all right.
Really?
Shadows.
I'd say Knuckles was written terribly in this game.
Not in this game.
Let me finish.
Okay.
I'm getting to that. Let me finish. For the most part in games, I have enjoyed the way Sonic and Knuckles are written. And I think that they've been, for the most part, like, and Shadow as well, which, like, the way they're written, obviously with what they're supposed to be. Knuckles is like the blockheaded enforcer.
I really don't think he should be that way. He wasn't that originally.
Shut up. Listen. Let me finish my point. I will be quiet for a while and let you guys debate with me, but let me just get this out because it's a bit of a long point. I liked how they were. I did. I enjoyed that Knuckles was a big heart, caring loner who was a bit blockheaded because he was alone and he didn't experience the world a lot. And I liked Sonic's cheesiness. I liked how he was kind of cool and cheesy. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was just fun. And I like Shadow because he's the overly edgy character, and I think that's just funny. I think it's cool, and I think that they write them that way on purpose. But two of the most important and early characters in the game, in the franchise, Amy and Tails, have always, in my opinion, consistently been written like shit. I can't think of one game where they were written well, genuinely.
Well,
No, what?
Adventure.
No, I think Amy was written dog shit in Adventure.
Really?
They had like, it was just a husk. It was a husk of something good, but it still all came back to I love Sonic. You know, I'm so good. I love you. You can be great. You're not a bad guy. I love you. You know, there were good parts of it, yeah, but it was just, and Tails was still, you know, Tails started to be all right. That was definitely their best written of those two, besides this game.
I'd say.
That I'd say, but it was still just, you know, Tails trying to find a way out of Sonic's shadow and not really doing it because he played pretty much the same levels that Sonic did, so it just kind of felt like a rehash. You know, there were some differences, of course, some different bosses, but it still just kind of felt the same. And, you know, that really downplayed how it was supposed to be different or treated different when you want to get out of a shadow when you're doing the same thing. So that was my take on it. So just shut up.
There's so much stuff I need to talk about that I feel like
then you will. I will give you your chance, but I need to finish my point. So getting to this game, I had overall, for the majority of Sonic, not all of it, there are definitely exceptions. For the majority of Sonic, I have liked how Sonic was written. I have enjoyed how Knuckles was written. I have enjoyed how Shadow was written. I have hated how Amy was written, and I have hated how Tails was written. For the majority, definitely some spots of goodness and badness for all of those 5 people. However, in this game, I think Knuckles was dog shit. His expressions were really off-putting. A lot of his mannerisms seemed weird. You know, I liked his interactions with the Coco. I thought that was cute. Being like a general, I thought that fit him pretty well. I don't like how submissive he seemed to Sonic. Like, he just seemed to go along instead of fighting back. They just kind of had like a older, younger brother kind of feeling, which I didn't like. They're not supposed to be that. They're supposed to be like friendly rivals, and that's how they should be written. But he was written as if he was useless, and the Knuckles I know and love, no matter what he was facing, would have always found a way to do something on his own and never needed Sonic, or at least admitted it. And it seemed like all he did in this game was ride Sonic's dick for the most part. There was a couple redeeming things, like when he saved Sonic from Sage in that one cutscene, which was definitely a Knuckles thing. But overall, a lot of the jokes he made just didn't. They just landed flat, and I didn't like it. Sonic, I think, was written amazing. This is, I think, Sonic's best written. I actually really didn't think I was going to like the voice actor, but after the first half an hour, I really didn't recognize the difference. I thought it was good. I thought it fit very well for the way they were going with this game. I think Eggman was written better than he has been in the past. I loved Sage. I loved her. I really did. And I loved Sage and Eggman's dynamic really well. And then the big things. I think this is Tails and Amy's best written game, and I don't think it's close. Because Tails, you don't play as Tails, which I think benefited this a lot. So Tails really does go off on his own, does his own thing, and you have to really work to get to talk to him. And he really goes into deep detail about how he feels and how he felt like Sonic Shadow, and he really comes out of it better. And he's like, and he admits to himself, like, hey, I was a follower. Hey, I was all this, but I'm not going to be anymore. I'm going to travel the world. I'm going to do it without you, and I'm going to grow. And I'm like, that is what we've been waiting for 22 years. And it's really great to see Sonic support it, and to see the game not fall back on something or like ever make Tails seem like a baby. Like, they never made it feel like he was lying or that it was just being said. the way he spoke just sounded like somebody who was shown depression and chose not to follow it and chose to grow. And I loved that. And I truly hope that this isn't a one-off thing. And I truly hope that we see him, or maybe we don't see him in the next game, and he comes back as a great player and becomes Sonic's partner, not sidekick. That's what I want to see. And I think it did really well. And I think at the very end, when he brought everybody together on his own, and it wasn't Knuckles or Amy that said it, he brought up, and he was like, we're not going to let this be in vain. We're going to fucking go back into cyberspace hell, and he's going to save us because we know he will. And we're going to do this for him. We're going to save his life and bring him back. And it was great. And I'm like, dude, where has this been? And further angering me about Knuckles is that he didn't say a damn thing. He was like, okay, yeah. And I'm like, that's it, Knuckles? Really? That's all you got to say? All right. The Knuckles I know would have been like, all right, but now, he owes me. Instead, he said something like, yeah, we're even after this, Sonic. I'm like, no, you're not. No. You'll never be even. He saved you too many times. But you, as Knuckles, were supposed to say, now you owe me one, Sonic. And that would have been so much better. But he didn't. And then Amy. Amy, I think, for the first time in a Sonic game, did not utter the words, I love you, Sonic. And I think that's a big thing. Because, I've always known that she's like the lover. She's supposed to love everything. And that's fine. That's how they want to write her, whatever. But she truly showed remorse for things. She didn't really latch on to Sonic a lot, which was good. She did her own thing, helping the Cocos, and that was great. And the way she spoke was really good. I think that I wish we had a little more conversations with Amy. And that's really it. But I think she was written very well, compared to a lot of her other shit. But it was very, very good to see, very refreshing to see these characters taken a bit more seriously and grown and show growth and see a different side of them that you never seen. I very much liked it. So overall, quick, short, to the point. I loved Sonic, Knuckles, or I loved Sonic, Amy, and Tails, and Eggman, and Sage. Writing-wise in this game, hated Knuckles. For the majority of Sonic before this game, I've enjoyed Knuckles and Sonic and Eggman and Shadow. And I've pretty much hated the rest. For the majority. So, now that my full point is made, because you guys obviously at the beginning of this were like, Knuckles was shit, and I'm like, yes, I am well aware.
I wasn't trying to say that. Not at all.
Well, that's what Joey was saying.
I was trying to
say no. All right.
Well, that point has already been made, and I have to disagree with it entirely. Dear God,
right, so
Knuckles was portrayed badly here?
In this game,
man had so much insight on the ruins and on the past civilizations. It actually showed Knuckles being competent. Literally from the start of him being awakened out of it, instead of old Knuckles back in 06 and later on being a bumbling idiot and falling down, he actually just, lands like a normal, competent warrior person.
I thought it was, I gotta be quiet now. I gotta let you talk.
And of course, he's different now. I mean, they've actually showed that they've progressed from back then. They're actually referencing stuff from before of okay,
yeah, that was great. I love that.
Trust you. And Knuckles, all of them are actually helping, especially Knuckles, where he's just okay, there's this thing, and I would be able to help you if I could actually touch anything. And he still tries to multiple times, too. He's insightful. He still tries to help. He jumped in front of a blast he didn't freaking know was going to happen. And, everyone here is actually useful. He even goes out of his way to go command the Coco troops and help them out.
I did say that I liked that part. I did give that credit. Don't say I didn't. I did give that credit.
I don't know why you would say why he's badly characterized when before he's been a bumbling idiot who hasn't even attempted to do anything in the past.
I don't like, and this might just sound weird, I don't like competent Knuckles. I think he's more fun.
I feel absurdly stupid, and he's also been a rival in this game.
I think
Mike, I let you talk for a very long amount of time, and I didn't interrupt. Give me my time, please.
You're right.
Now then, Knuckles himself here was actually like being very freaking. Now I lost my point. God damn it!
You were talking about how he was being insightful.
He was being insightful for the ruins and had
everybody was
a lot. No, I was saying he knew a lot about the ruins and drew connections with his own like civilization and about the emeralds themselves. He probably had the most insight out of most of the people besides even Tails, and Tails had to like figure it out by being smart, and Amy figured it out through emotions. But Knuckles had like genuine knowledge, like, hey, this structure is complete, like some of the ones on the island, and they're very dated for some reason, even older than most things that we know of. Like, I'd say he was well characterized in this game and tried to do something at least. I wouldn't say he's bad. And also, I tried to do short points in before, like, yeah, Tails' big thing of trying to break away from Sonic didn't happen in Sonic Adventure 1 until the very end, where that point was being made of, this is the point where I'll start to break apart, and Adventure 2 capitalized on that, where he was his own person and willing to go after Eggman even after he thought Sonic was dead. And Amy in Sonic Adventure 1 was barely focused on Sonic through it, was just trying to help a freaking bird for most of it. But those were just small points that I was trying to make earlier. But yes, everyone in this is pretty great characterized. Like, they're pretty great characterized-wise. Best we've seen for a while. Mostly, like, I do appreciate Eggman actually saying stuff like, yes, he is a worthy adversary,
yeah,
but I don't have to like him.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, there's certain lines that I'm like, okay, this is the kind of Eggman I like. This is the kind of Knuckles I like. This is the kind of Tails I like. This is the kind of Amy I like. Like, Amy literally got upset at Sonic when he was like, okay, let's move on. And Amy was like, you're just gonna abandon someone?
Exactly. Yeah, it was great.
It's like, oh my god, Amy is actually, like, doing something, like, is not dick riding Sonic, as you would say. Tails realizing that there were times when he messed up, like, well, they said it in the comics before, like, as kind of a redemption thing. When he was talking about Infinite, and one of the things of, like, yeah, I don't know why I'm like this. I'm wildly inconsistent. I think I need to go out and find myself. And Sonic going like, well, it's all part of growing up. And I'm like, oh my god, this is the little brother, big brother thing that they had that I've been waiting for such a long time again. And Knuckles does have that rivalry in here because Knuckles doesn't like it when Sonic is helping him in this game. Like, they even snarl at each other, like, when they're, like, Knuckles does a snarl and Sonic does, like, a smug grin. Like, they are competing even now. It's so stupid and funny. Like, there's a lot of, like, actual interactions where it's just like, okay, these feel like actual friends. Like, actual people. Like, oh my goodness. Eggman also having a huge ego of just like, okay, I'll work with you, but I don't have to like it. This is not an alliance. There's so many, like, great character moments in this. Like, it made me want to go out and get those memory things throughout each island, or just do the fishing mini game to get a bunch of them. So
Wait, have you not done all the memories for everyone?
Oh no, I've done all the memories for everyone.
Oh, okay, God.
I've gotten all the things because I was just like, this is my biggest priority because they're actually
exactly. Same.
I get to actually hear good interactions between all these characters after such a freaking long time.
Off topic, and this is the only time I'll interrupt you. I'll let you finish. But it hit me, and it's not important enough to wait. So, can we talk about how bullshit Sage's, like, heart requirements are? How stupid high they are?
Oh, I haven't had to care about them at all. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I've just been exploring, and I've had way too many to actually care about, so it's nothing.
No, I just did the fishing mini game, and I was just like, "Well,
I didn't do any of the fishing. I didn't really do any of the
fishing. Really, is actually decent in this game, man.
I was too cautious about it. I was like,
Yeah, fair enough. You see Big the Cat in fishing mini game, and gives Vietnam.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to give this a shot. I'll go back to it.
It gives you the egg memos, which are like some of the coolest stuff. You hear Eggman freaking analyze the world and actually give stuff about Sage in it. It's really cool.
I'll go back to it. But I found myself getting annoyed at like the first one was like you had to get 40 hearts for Sage. I'm like, what the hell? I don't know.
That's fair.
It wasn't necessarily hard to get them all. It was just, I don't know why. It was just weird. It just seemed really high. But all right. Anyway, continue.
I was gonna go to actually bring you to my topic of Sage of like this is an actual understanding character, AI created by Eggman of just like actually
I love Sonic.
It's just like you shouldn't be able to do this. Stop being able to do this.
Yep.
Give up already.
I love it so much.
And Sonic's just like, hey, kid, can you help me out here? It's like, you're gonna die. It's just that interaction for a while, and it was really funny for a bit. And it is just like, okay, we're gonna actually get into your mind a bit, Sage, and like a worthy antagonist, I should say. Worthy antagonist for majority of the game. Oh man. It's a great interaction because you do interact with Sage probably the most out of anyone because, story and whatnot. Boy, oh boy, this story is pretty solid.
Joey, what did you want to say about, or did you agree with pretty much what I was saying?
I kind of did. I kind of didn't. I kept playing this game because the gameplay in the main world's just going around collecting whatever I can, fishing, whatever.
It was great.
After a while, like with the story, it the voice acting and the lines are just so campy. I don't know how you guys can enjoy it. I just don't enjoy the story.
It's Sonic. I don't know. You gotta have a soft side for it. You either hate it or you love it.
There's mostly because
there is no
I've gone through the edgy ones, and then there's
dude, I've played every one of them.
The ones trying to be too cool for all of it.
And this one didn't feel. This one felt refreshing because it didn't feel like they were trying to be too cool, and they were trying to be like real, and they played it pretty well.
Like I enjoy the cheesy Sonic because it's Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah,
probably
exactly.
one of the cheesiest franchises in general, so I'll actually enjoy it if it's like two-tone, I should say.
Also, can I say, after this game, Sonic should never be with humans again.
I really don't want him to be.
Am I the only one that seems to think that every time Sonic's with humans, it either is only a cult classic to diehard fans like Adventure and Adventure 2, or like it's just shit. Like it just looks weird. Like he does so much better in every setting, in every way possible when it's just there's no people.
Only people that should be is one-time villains.
He should just be with weird animals, weird creatures, weird things, weird environments.
And Eggman.
And Eggman doesn't count as a human.
He's an Eggman.
Yeah, so
we'll just have to ignore all that time where a lot of the Sonic lore had people in it.
Well, it's important, but
it's important.
It'll never happen.
Humans ruin it. Let's say that.
Yeah, like they do everything. We'll never get rid of humanity in Sonic games. That'll never happen because they need it. They need it for like relatability for certain things.
And lore for some of it.
I get it.
And for a lot of Shadows lore, it requires a lot of
really
humans.
The big one. So I have counterpoints about Knuckles. I was writing down. Unless Joey has anything he wants to say.
I really didn't like the parts where he was commanding the army. It just kind of felt really campy and awkward.
That was like the only thing I enjoyed about Knuckles' thing. It was in interactions with the Coco. I thought it was cute. I
guess I just don't like the Coco then.
I just don't like the Coco because I was just like, yo, Knuckles is literally telling these Coco.
I'll be honest. I didn't
scared about dying. Go out.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I didn't like the Coco at first either until late into Amy's area. I was like, all right, this is annoying, whatever. And then I got into Amy's area, and I was like, and I finished, like, got to the second half of Amy's area. I'm like, all right, okay. So there's something definitely behind here that I'm not seeing. And then, whoa, was there a lot that they did about the Coco? Holy crap, those poor people.
Tell you what, not know some of it because some of it is revealed in there. Or if you don't have the egg memos, you actually just don't know a lot of it.
So yeah, I'll have to go back and get the egg memos. So my Knuckles counterpoint. And you have to let me finish. It's about a paragraph. Like, you can react to certain things, but overall, let me finish like I did with you. I interrupted you once. I apologized. All right. So in Knuckles in general, blanket statement, I don't like competent Knuckles in general. Explanation is this. He has lived his whole life on a floating island guarding an ancient gem for his entire life and rarely has contact with other people. If you think about it, aside from aside from Forces, majority of the actual interactions that happen in the games only take place over a couple days. And he lives every other moment on that island. Aside from Forces where, we don't talk about Forces. But like aside from that, it really is just on that island. So it makes sense for him to not understand technology, to not understand people, to not understand certain things, and to just kind of be awkward and be a little bumbly. But what makes up for it is his intense loyalty to his friends and his intense love for protecting people and protecting what he cares about. And he's a super good fighter, but he's a super strong ally, and he's got a rivalry with Sonic because Sonic's also super, strong and fast, super strong versus super fast, but they're friends, but they're rivals. You can be rivals and friends, they're allies overall, but they push each other to get better. And, a big part of it is Knuckles being a little goofy and stupid and Sonic making fun of him for it. And then it just makes for friendly banter. And then they, whatever. I like that. I enjoy that because it makes sense. It's as if you took an iPhone and, a fucking jet to a deserted island with like an old tribe of people and you showed it to them. And then you got mad that they were stupid or like didn't understand it or were kind of incompetent in regards of all of that. Not saying tribesmen are stupid. I'm just saying they would obviously not be competent in regards to that kind of technology. So it makes sense for me. So hold on, because I agree with you in a couple of things, and I want to get to that real quick. I understand what they went for here, with him being there to talk about a lot of the ruins, and I get it. He definitely has experience with ruins, but it's also established that these are nothing like Angel Island. And Angel Island isn't a machine or isn't machinery. It's an emerald and a floating piece of dirt. There's not technology on that. So, and the ruins are all ruins of technology. So it didn't really make sense that he would know so much about all of that kind of ruins. Because it was like ruins that were still far more advanced than anything he would have even seen in his few times being in the real world. So it was weird.
Say one thing. He did not mention anything about the technology. He talked about the structures.
Yeah, but how would you know anything about these kinds of structures?
That's architecture. Architecture is different from technology, and he said it was still similar to that of Angel Island.
Well, what about Angel Island is similar to that? Angel Island is a flat, grassy plain with an emerald on it.
He does it. It has several other islands surrounding it and like floating like ruins all around it.
Angel Island?
Yes, Angel Island. It's not just a singular island. It's an archipelago in the sky. It's a very big misconception. Yes, it is, Mike. I can literally
Wait, hold on.
Mike.
Did I not know this?
Mike, do you know the level that you play in the game that has like the crumbling ruins in it? And the red balls that you go and circle around and teleport to other places? That's Angel Island. That is Angel Island. In Sonic 3, Sonic 3,
Hold on, I'm looking up Hold on,
You
I'm
can
looking up
literally,
Angel Island, and apparently there's an actual Angel Island in California. So that was weird.
but Mike, you can also check the Sonic Frontiers second trailer where Knuckles is literally exploring the floating islands around. Like it literally explains how he got to
Yeah,
each
I
of
did
the
see that, but I didn't understand that because I never thought. Because
that
when you
yeah,
look, I'm looking at Angel Island right now.
Angel
All
Island
right,
has many depictions, but originally when it's all the way back in the sky, it does have islands surrounding it in
Angel
ruins.
Island, also known as the Floating Island, is a location that appears in blah blah blah. It is a landmass of miracles and mysteries that floats high in the sky. Blah 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 blah. Blah. The island will never be flown out of the sky. The island is inhabited by various animals, also homes to Knuckles the Kid, who guards blah blah blah. It doesn't. It like every image I'm seeing here is one island.
Then it's probably misconfusion because literally in the
Angel Island
game,
is a massive single piece of land that is floating high up above the clouds on Sonic's world, hence its name.
Yes, but
Master
there's
Emerald is a
multiple different areas to it. All of
exactly.
yeah,
Sonic
but
3 takes part
Like,
on Angel
I've
Island,
never
Angel
every
played
Island.
single
Sonic 3.
act.
Oh my goodness!
I didn't know that.
Angel Island normally doesn't show it, but when you like in 2D games and a bunch of other like media of it, it's not just the one thing with just the emerald and all that. It's actual several small like pieces of it. Just the one that we see the most is the center island. There's multiple like broken parts of it in ruins. Knuckles literally gets trapped because he finds a section of the old ruins in part of Angel Island. It was like, huh, what the frick is this? And gets trapped into there.
Oh,
I.e., why he shouldn't like be like, oh, this makes I should know a lot about this because it is exactly kind of like Angel Island in a lot of aspects. There's even a scene in the game, like where it even showed 2D Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles standing like in a very similar spot to where Knuckles was like, huh, this reminds me of Angel Island. It's very out of place, and I feel like you should actually know it because Knuckles is just like looking at a thing, and then he just flashes us. It flashes a JPEG of Knuckles laughing at Sonic and Tails after he knocked the emeralds out of him
yeah, I've been reading, but yes, I know what you're talking
because it's all very similar.
about. Okay, well, you're right, and I admit that I was wrong, which doesn't happen often, so enjoy it. For the longest time, I just never had seen Angel Island, or at least acknowledged that it was Angel Island, or known that it was Angel Island, but I'd never seen Angel Island and realized that it was multiple places. I thought it was just a floating island that had some loose ruins around it, but like not really. Okay,
It's
you're
a
right.
whole
I'm
thing.
wrong. You're
It's a
right.
whole.
I'm wrong. I take it back. I did not realize. Okay.
Especially in this game where he only basically shows competence when it comes to warlike stuff and also fighting, and when it comes to stuff that's similar to his island.
All right. So I'll give you that. I don't change my standpoint on that. I like incompetent Knuckles because I think it makes sense. But I do take back that this didn't make much sense as far as why he would understand these ruins.
Let me put it this way: Knuckles is
Okay.
not smart. He's wise. When he studied something, he learns a lot from it.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give you that. But you also have to remember what he's studying. There's not much of that in the real world.
Yeah,
So
there
it
is.
kind of
Yes,
fit a little
Knuckles doesn't know anything in the real world. That's very fair. The talking
Okay.
kid that doesn't know anything about the real world. That's okay. I'm okay with that, and I can sleep well at night knowing that.
All right. So moving on to because I've only got about a half an hour left. So I really did enjoy the game. I do hope they continue in this way. I really, really do. And I hope this isn't just a one-time thing, or that they do another of this, but they just scrap the story. I hope they evolve this like a Breath of the Wild sort of thing, where they are keeping the framework and then making a better game, and it's expanding on it. I hope they do that. I want a Frontiers too.
I like the fact that we were able to use Supersonic multiple times.
Yeah, that was a big thing for me.
Instead of the one final time at every Sonic game, I'm just like, you at the end of the game, time to finally use Supersonic.
I enjoyed the combos, even though they were a little easy, and I thought it was fine. I don't think Sonic games should have advanced combat because it directly contrasts and contradicts fast gameplay, because it's hard to make those match with how fast Sonic is supposed to be, I should say.
I mean, if you put on auto combo, it does.
But that's not
does less damage.
For the feel, but it really doesn't matter if you get the OP amount of damage, really.
So I do love this game. I do really enjoy it. Right now, it's a little too early to say, but it's definitely easily already top 3 Sonic games for me. That's not really a question. My favorite is still Adventure 2. And I have not figured out whether or not this will beat fucking Sonic Adventure 1. But I think in time, this is going to probably be my favorite Sonic game.
You got to let it sit for you a bit.
Yeah, it's kind of like Kirby. Like at this point in time, I think Kirby and the Forgotten Land is my favorite Kirby game. But I don't know. It's still close with Squeak Squad and Return to Dream, or not Return to Dream, Amazing Mirror. But
you really need to play Robobot.
I just don't have an interest. Really, didn't look interesting to me.
You are a fucking idiot. You should play Robobot.
Okay, thank you for the objective
the insult and suggestion.
Don't worry, it's my job.
So yeah, fix some shit, guys. Fix some, I would love a patch for this game. They have every ability to do it. Fix some quality of life things, please. Fix some polish.
This is absolute shit.
This game can easily be critically reviewed as a 9 or 10 out of 10 if you just put in a couple patches of some stupid shit. Don't get rid of the Psyloop glitch. I know you probably will and probably should, but please don't. It's so satisfying.
I wouldn't say it's a glitch. It seems intended.
Or you know what I mean, like a
exploit.
Exploit. Yeah, that's the word.
The one where you just go around multiple times, or the one where you do infinite boosts?
The one where you just go around and you can farm seeds and hearts and rings.
Just make it so that only does EXP and rings. I'd say that would be a pretty good compromise.
Yeah, I guess.
I have to see. I mean, so far it is pretty good. I do like it. Yeah. For multiple reasons.
It's kind of broken. It's definitely broken. I won't deny. You literally don't have to do anything.
It's a fun kind of broken.
It is. Yes. It's really fun.
Absolutely broken. I love just boosting around and just getting as many rings as I can.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to one of the only redeeming things about Sonic Boom, which was the Knuckles jump glitch, which was really fun and funny. But then they patched it out. So
yeah, they made a bad game worse by removing something.
Made a bad game worse.
And people enjoyed.
Yeah.
How could you?
Wow, it's kind of like Halo Infinite removing the Scorpion gun.
Is this our last podcast till Christmas week?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Unless if you guys want to do one December 4th, I guess.
No, it would be November 20th.
November 20th. Yeah, okay, so there is one. If we want to do one.
I'm pretty sure we do have a couple of them. We have some stuff in the background. I'm pretty sure we just have to check what we have in our backlog. But yeah, this this has been a fun Sonic game.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not
it's been
even
overall. Yeah,
I still
overall,
give it 8.5.
overall, all things and the criticisms we gave aside, there is no doubt, and even like we all seem to enjoy certain different things. All three of us can definitely agree. This has been a very fun and overall good game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Overall good game. I did have fun with it. I will say one thing about it though.
What's that?
I'll say two things. One of them is I tried it on Steam Deck and it did not run well.
What is Steam Deck? Oh no, I know what that is. That's that shitty Google thing, right?
No.
No.
The fuck
Oh,
are
no.
you talking about?
What is Steam Deck then?
It's
You're
the
thinking of
Valve
Stadia.
handheld that looks like a Switch.
Oh, I didn't realize. I thought
know.
that was a joke.
The game just might not work well on handhelds.
They're definitely going to patch it in so that it works, or people are going to get... Another thing that I want to say is the way it keeps its momentum is very weird. Like, you'd be boosting on the ground, and then when you want to jump and hold that momentum, it just slows you down to a halt.
I'd say mostly for control, but you can adjust a lot of controls for like movement in this game too, so that it feels right, which I do love.
There's also one control thing that I had an issue with, where whenever Sonic did a monologue, it would stop me in its tracks. Apparently, that is an option in the menus where you have to take it off.
It is an option. It is an option. I did see that.
Yeah, and it's kind of stupid that it wasn't ticked off by default.
To be fair, I think that was
the next pod. Wait, I just remembered. Okay, so the next podcast is game controllers.
Yes.
And then the first one after Christmas week is video game origin stories.
Yeah. Why we like video games.
Also, I will say that the best part about the physics is when you're on the open world rails. When you boost off.
Yeah.
Boost off and then move directly onto another one. Oh man, you feel so cool.
Or when you jump to a memory
wait, I had one more criticism for the cyberspace levels. The big thing that I had that it skipped my mind. When you're doing the cyberspace levels and you go through the loop-de-loops, have either of you experienced the fact where sometimes it just won't let you get up the loop-de-loop and you'll just fall down halfway?
No.
If you're using like the proper boosts that are normally set up before it, instead of using your actual
I literally do, and I'll hold the direction, and I will just fall off.
I
will get to the top and fall off.
I have not experienced that personally. No,
it is ridiculous. It was so infuriating. Maybe it's just a Switch version thing, but
yeah, it's probably just a Switch version. I will also say with the Cyber Worlds, there was one that was really annoying where it was just too long and it only had like 3 checkpoints.
Yeah, it was in World 3. It was like 3.
Yeah,
I forget the number, but it was like 3 minutes long, and the time to like the S rank time was like 240, but there was like 5 different pathways to beat it. And
describe it
so stupid.
More.
It was the one in Angel Island where you have to go like sideways. It's all 2D. There are points where you're hitting balloons and there are spikes in between.
I know exactly which one you're talking about. Yes, you can't just... There's a lot of it there you wish you could mindlessly go through it, but you can't. You have to do a lot of thinking for that level.
Not even that. It's not actual like thinking. It's wait.
It's not difficult. It's just annoying.
Yeah.
You have to put minimal thought. And it is very annoying.
There's definitely times where you can use thought and make it fun. That by making it a difficult kind of thought, like this is a challenge that I have to overcome and think my way through. Not I just have to wait for this to finish.
Yes, I know it's very tedious as to what the word I was trying to get out.
Okay, but yeah, yeah. All right. Yeah. So overall, really good game. Stupid things that they should just polish up. Mm-hmm. Release a couple patches. This game could be an easy 9 to 10 out of 10.
But for anyone watching, this is literally within the first week of this game being out. So this could obviously be different. Yeah, this could literally be different by the time this podcast comes out. They could have changed something. These are just like opening first reaction things on it. Hell, they might even add something new eventually. Who knows, Mike? They might add a shadow mode where you get to do your own.
No, I don't want them to do that. I don't want them to add any characters to it because I don't want them to sell out on it. I want them to just fix what they have and then save that kind of stuff for the next one.
Yeah, I know. I was talking.
Don't sell out on just this one. Make a better game. Make more money. Make us happy.
Or add
I'm
another
saying, what
island.
if they added more to this? Is what I'm saying.
Nah, don't add another island because then it just wouldn't fit the story. You'd have to fucking.
You could do
add
like
a whole other way. The game
before story or after.
No, you
story.
haven't beaten the game. When the game ends, you'll see it ends.
Okay.
It doesn't give you it doesn't neither of you have actually finished it. When the game ends, it ends. It wouldn't make sense for them to make another island, and you'll see why.
They could make it a cyberspace port.
I was gonna say, even if they destroyed the entire cyberspace, why not just do that kind of stuff in a different area?
No, because you'll see what I mean.
It's like, oh hey, we found a cyberspace portal by the Master Emerald. Let's go through it. Oh wow, it's a whole nother area.
Not even that. I'm saying, like, don't even go into cyberspace anymore. Just use the same stuff, mechanics, and just have it be in the normal world.
Green Hill for the 5,000th time. This time it's a 3D.
You'll see what I mean. I'm not spoiling anything for you two.
What, they just kill Sonic the Hedgehog?
But I'm going to say that it would make no sense after you beat the game for them to make another island.
I'll finish
or to make more levels because the game
I'll finish the game and make a comment on the video, and I'll say, Mike, you're wrong.
Yeah, same.
I'll finish the game and then I'll make a better assessment to argue with Mike. For right now, I'll just put an opinion in it and be like, eh.
You can probably figure out a way to make it possible, but logical, it wouldn't make sense for them to continue the story of this game.
There's always a way.
Until they do another
I'm not saying even
there's always a way, but it shouldn't be.
I'm not
they
even
shouldn't
saying
do it.
End of my story. I'm just saying
they shouldn't do it.
Separate thing.
Illogical to do it. They shouldn't do it. They should save it all for the next game. Just patch this one up.
I don't know about that.
You can agree or disagree with me after you've beaten the game.
I'm saying if they have an idea where they just can add like one new island instead of us waiting for a couple of years for a new game, I'd say do that, and then have stuff for the new game. You know what I'm saying, Joe? I'm just like, if you have something where you can add, and we don't have to wait for another couple of years for another good Sonic game, do it, please.
Do you need
that's my thing.
Would you say that for this to happen, you would need all the characters, or would you say they only need to have Sonic?
No, I don't even. They don't even need Sonic. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it could just be Shadow.
It could be literally just Shadow or Blaze or someone else that can move fast and go through a world. They just give them another open world. It's not even in cyberspace. Just freaking throw freaking Blaze in a field of flowers for all I care.
Yeah, they could do that. They could definitely do that. Would it make sense? Would it be good? Probably not.
Anything in this style and adding more content, I would say would be good.
That's what I'm saying. Is just give us more
content, yes, but not in the way you're thinking.
Well, I don't give a shit about this story, so I'm fine with just.
Yeah, you're a tough person. You're a tough person to make this point to because you just don't care about the story. So you wouldn't care if it makes much sense or not.
I lost interest in it on Island 3.
But James, I am 95% confident James will at least understand where I'm coming from once he beats the game.
Yes, and then that last 5% will be him complaining like, no, they could still add it.
They definitely could. I agree.
I understand why it's like this. But they could just add it in with completely other characters that they have to their entire list.
My point is I don't want them to do anything that doesn't make sense. All right, anyway, we've gone over time. I have to go. This podcast has been really fun. I think it'll do really well, especially because Sonic Frontiers is a hot topic right now. If you like this video, if you really like us, give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a comment. Tell us how much you hate me. Tell us how much you think I have bad opinions. Tell us how much you hate how much I talk. Tell us anything you want.
Tell us how you feel about Sonic Forces.
Yeah, tell us about your 1 out of 10 review of this game.
Not Frontiers, Forces.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Forces.
-5 out of 10.
Frontiers, we already know it's going to be good for you. Forces, tell us how much you hate that game.
Yeah, but this has been fun. In 2 weeks, we will be doing gaming controllers, like the Evolution, different kinds, the best one. All that
I have concurred that there is no single best one.
It's one. They all have their own perks.
There's two that I think are definitively better than others.
Then it's not a best one, it's a best two. And even then, when new consoles come out, how are you going to be able to use it for those new consoles if it isn't backwards?
Next one.
Okay. I am already getting into. You can see how in depth I am with this.
All right. Anyways, everybody, that was. I'm trying to do the outro. Anyway. Anyways, everybody, this has been a fun podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. Because it was just one game, it's going to be a little shorter than 2 hours, but
it is one we're all actually played, and is pretty hot right now, and we're actually interested in playing.
Yeah,
do something like this in the future. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much for listening. As always, I'm Mike.
I'm James.
And I'm Joey.
And we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
See you.
See you.